boo ba da ba ba da ba. Do 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 ba da ba ba boo doo boo boo ba. Do 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 da da ba ba ba. Do do boop boop bop bop bop. Are we live? Are we even going? I have no idea, right? Do I even knowing? Am I even knowing? Look, listen to me, like all like mangle the language. Mangle the language. Manglage. I'm committing manglage. All right. Hey, good afternoon, right? It's after that time. It's after that moment. So let us talk. Yes. Things are going on. Oh yeah, look at where I am, right? Look where I am. I'm not where I am normally. Am I recording? Yeah. I'm not where I am normally. Where I am now is the Java world, my Java world. And you can see it kind of runs a little not so great. Let me see. Well, yeah, it is. It's running like 65, 60. I'm like, but still, like you would think it'd be okay, but man, Java just, I don't know. This is like vanilla, right? 1.17. So here's the map, my old map. And I've messed around with like my maps I wanted to trim so bad to make sure that when the new land generated, I would get all the cool stuff. And when it didn't happen when I thought it would, I'm like, great, I explored all this stuff and it didn't happen. Like, what am I going to do? So I trimmed and I lost a bunch of stuff. Like over here, I lost like the whole bridge I made when I was talking about Mansion. It's just gone. And I probably lost a bunch of work over there too. But I still have the what's it called? The Guardian farm. So that's I got that going for me. And I got my first design of the potion factory. So that's kind of cool. But like, yeah. All right. So, but I didn't come here to talk about my world, right? Because that's not why I came. I had an insight, and I wanted to. It's one of those things that I want to like talk about before I forget it or before it becomes not relevant, because I think it's highly relevant. Highly relevant at this moment. It's highly relevant. Think about what's going on with the Kyle Rittenhouse trial. That judge is a white supremacist. He's on board with the coup. I mean, I have no way of proving it, but look what all the signs point to. He's like super favorable toward Rittenhouse. He's got a Trump what's it called? Ringtone. The Trump theme song as his ringtone on his phone. He's given the prosecution a hard time, which I guess the judge should, right? I mean, they shouldn't just let him off, but you would expect it to be evenly given a hard time, but it's not evenly given a hard time. He's only doing the prosecution in this case because in this case, the defendant is in favor of white supremacy. That's the only reason why he wouldn't. If the defendant were a guy defending property from white supremacists, it wouldn't be on TV. We wouldn't even know about it. He'd probably be dead. Hey, good morning or good afternoon. It's Chanti. I'm sorry. I'm gonna talk about like not so nice things. Right now, I mean, I'd rather talk about what you want to talk about. That's cool, right? Because you're like hanging out. You're my audience, yay! But like the purpose of the stream was I had like a point I wanted to like share about oh man, nested realities. It's probably like the best way of putting it really quickly. You want to hear about my theory real quick? Well, you're gonna hear it. Okay. Okay. So, but before I get into this part, let me. So, in the context of a larger, you know what? This is too distracting. I got to fix this. You can't even look at me like this. Do I have to sit closer? Do I need more light? Like, what's the deal here? Do I gotta adjust the filter? Webcam, filters, chroma key. What? Like, where's the happy medium? That's the key, right? That's what everyone's looking for. All right, hey, there we go. That is not bad. That is not bad. Okay. Hey, good morning or good afternoon. Thanks for hanging out. I'm glad you dude, you're cool. You're cool. You actually hang out with me. Like constantly, like every time. That's wow. That's consistency. That's amazing. That's great. I really did consistency. Okay. Thank you. Yeah, thanks for hanging out. Okay. So what I wanted to talk about was that in the context of a larger battle, right? I've told you already. Maybe I haven't, right? But this is a good world to be in. We're in this world because I accidentally deleted my other world. Now we're on Java. But on Java, I made this great thing, right? And I needed to reproduce it on my Bedrock world, but I never did. But anyways, that's So I talk about the shape of society. Like the shape of society. I'm like, well, what does that even mean? What does that even mean? Like, you have to understand that, first of all, you as an individual do not exist independently of society. There is no Chanti without society, without USA, without whatever state you live in, without the world, right? Without other humans. There's no individual without the group. Just like there is no group without a bunch of individuals. Without individuals. You can't have a group without individuals, and you can't have individuals without a group. So it's like a relationship. And so you want to, and what you want to look at, then you want to focus more on levels of analysis. It's like filtering between layers, and you've done it intrinsically already. I don't have my Optifine on this one. Let me log out and get an Optifine. Save and quit the title. Quit game, and then redo this again. Hold on. Optifine. Just for the Zoom, I like Optifine. So yeah, I like Java a lot. I just feel like it's more polished and it's made for a PC. Yeah, not all the big builds, just some of them. Like I only have an old backup, and I did it by accident. I was trying to play around with the new features and I accidentally deleted it. I deleted the world twice because I thought I made a copy of a copy, but I didn't. So okay, here we go. Hey, my frames per second are up there. Nice. Okay. So I don't have zoom. How do I zoom? See. Okay. I still have big builds here, right? It's not like they're all gone. But this is like a compacted version. On Java, I wanted to make the whole thing on a little tiny island. Well, not all of it, but as much as I could on a little island. So I have my first item sorter here, and then but really what this, and then up there, up higher, I have all the other stuff, like a lot of stuff that I didn't have in my other one. But wait, let me tell you about this. So you're going through layers of reality, just like you've done this before, right? You've seen that video where you start at the human level, and then you go down to like an apple, and then an apple, and then you go down inside the apple into like a seed or whatever, I don't know, and then you go down even more, and then it's like a life form, right? And then it goes down even more, and then they're individual molecules, and then you go down even more, and then they're like little atoms, and you go down even more, and now they're right. And then then you go all the way down, and then you go all the way back up, right? I think they've done that before with a movie, Contact or First Contact or something with Jodie Foster. So yeah, and they go all the way up to like galaxies and nebula and superclusters and whatever. Okay, and the universe, and then what lies beyond? Who knows? Okay, so it's like a huge, like you can't even conceive of big. I mean, maybe you could, but all right. Okay, but I don't want to go that far, right? First, I want to start with an individual human, right? I figured out what, and you go down into the human, you go down like because I know me, right? And then, but I'm also looking out here, and then I go, okay, how far out can I go? I go as far out as I can, not just down inside of me, but outward, like out into the world and stuff. So, yeah, you know what? I'm gonna start a new season when they. Wow. All right. Okay. All right. I will do it. I'm gonna do it. It's easy. Yeah, it's easy. I will totally dig it. Uh, I don't know how to put mods on. I don't know how to I don't want to have to what's it called? Be admin. That's like work. But yeah, I would make it in like just like a server. Yeah, okay. Next season, right? And that next season is gonna happen when Minecraft updates its worlds. So I get brand new worlds that are cool, and then I'll make a new server, and then I'll put it on online, and then I'll invite you, Chanti, on Java. Huh? Oh, you want Java? Well, it's easy on Bedrock. I mean, it'd be easy on Java too, I guess. But I'd have to split my time between Java and Bedrock. I mean, I only want to play Bedrock because it has all the like, oh my god, you see that? Like, I only want to play. Yeah, see, I only like look at how my frame rate drops. Like, there's probably a lot going on right now, but still, it's because Java can't use my NVIDIA card, so it doesn't like my frames per second crash. But I also have a lot more stuff crammed up here too. Look at. Yeah, I gotta figure that out. I mean, I have like everything here. I have my wool farm. I have all my villagers. I've got a ton of farms. Got another item sorted for it all. I forgot how to do this. It's been a while. Yeah. The Nether beacon, the train station. I mean, I got everything compacted on a single island. So like it could be that's why my frame rate is dying. Like it's not so great because I've got everything compacted on an island. My village breeder, my mob farm. My curing guy, like, what's up, guy? Ooh, you got a sword. Game stunk. Gilligan. Okay. Anyways, go back down here. down here. So yeah, the shape of society, right? So we start at the human, right? But then you can let's go up a level, right? You have your family, right? You hang out with your family. You're really connected to your family. I mean, like, generally, people are connected to their family. All right, great. Now you go up a little bit bigger. Then you have like your extended family, which may or may not be nearby, but your neighbors or whatever, your community. Right? Then you go up a little bit bigger, and then you have like your neighborhood or your neighborhood. And then you go up a little bit bigger, and then you got your town. And then you go up a little bit bigger, and then you have like your state or your region, and then you go up a little bit bigger. Yeah, then you have like your region of states. And then you go up a little bit bigger, and then you have like your nation, like USA, right? And then you go up a little bit bigger. and you see like what kinds of relationships connect the different groups and then you go up a little bit bigger, and then now you're looking at the whole world. And like there's like, so we're gonna go like not so far. We're gonna go we're gonna come down to the social level. We're only talking about the social level. We're not talking. So we're gonna talk about society, USA, because that's our nation, right? We're gonna talk about the nation, the idea of what binds us together. Our national idea. So I believe, and I've pledged allegiance to the idea that the United States stands for truth, or for justice and liberty for all. And to get that, you have to have truth. So you have to have truth. I put truth above justice and liberty because, I mean, like, I guess it's not really above it, but it's like another level, right? And like we're talking about layers. So we're talking about the social. We're talking about the social level. And the idea that I think I've talked to you about is how it's, at least from the West, right? I'm talking from the Western perspective. And when I say the Western, right? When I say West, I put the center about like Mesopotamia. Like around that region. The Mediterranean is about the middle of the region. That's why when Rome split into two, the government went east, because east was back then was considered more civilized, more cultured, like less barbaric. They made fun of people who lived in Western Europe, the West, quote, quote. They called them all sorts of stuff, right? Of course they're gonna, right? Everyone's gonna call everyone names, right? So, but back then, so when I'm talking about the West, that's who I'm talking about. When Rome split into two, it went the eastern half of Rome and then the western half of Rome. And I'm talking the West, because all I'm talking about all of the cultures that picked up the Roman and Greek ideas and just ran with it. Well, added their stuff too. But oh man, I'm like I'm trying. This is like a huge thing I'm talking about. I don't know if I'm like. Anyways, it's a long project, and so it's coming along, and now we're at the point of USA, and USA was the very first to create a democracy in the modern era, and that democracy is still going. It was the first, and it's still going. Well, quote quote democracy. Like in practice, maybe not so much. but yeah. But even then, the idea was broken into two, right? You had two ideas. One idea Well, the idea was supposed to be, well, back then the founding fathers wanted freedom, but only for landowning white men. That's it. If you were not a landowning white man, then you did not. They didn't really care about you. You weren't really included. You didn't really get to vote, right? If you had to be landed gentry. So, in other words, the initial idea of the Constitution was a way of taking power away from the king and giving it to the American aristocracy, the landed gentry of the USA. That was the idea. Well, their idea. But what happened was they got a hold of something and they lost control of it. That I think was the idea that people are equal. They could be equal under the law. And so what was intended as a way of establishing a landed gentry in the USA, a landed aristocracy to rule over all the commoners, that's what it was intended for. So our Constitution wasn't really made to be very, very, very democratic because they wanted to keep the people in check big time. They really wanted to keep people in check because they thought the people, the unlanded people were trash. They didn't like us at all. And they thought we didn't really need like representation. So that's why the House of Representatives is lower than the Senate. And the Senate is more like the aristocracy. So if you look over the reflection at our reflection in the UK, the way that would look is that the House of Lords is higher than the House of Commons. And I don't know if that's the way it is really. But I know I believe the House of Lords, you have to be like part of the aristocracy, right? That's like the deal, right? Lords, right? You're a lord. I mean, like, I'm not a lord. I could never be a lord. I'm an American. Come on, I don't want to be a lord. What the F is that? What is that noise? Dude, I'm a citizen. I don't need no freaking titles. We don't need those stinking titles. Okay. Okay. So, but the idea got away from them, right? The idea of democracy, because there's this idea that you could make a government, a society in which all the people were equal before the law. Before, it wasn't like that, right? Before, if you were a noble, you got away with anything you wanted, just about, as long as you didn't piss off the king, which is a lot, right? Like, you'd have to like actively work against the king's interests to like piss him off, and it was almost always a him. I guess there were queens, but I don't know. But yeah, like there was no checks on power. Like you could never check. There was no way of checking the power of kings until you overthrew the king and established the rule of law, which meant that everyone was equal before the law. So it did not matter if you were a CEO or if you were like a renter working at McDonald's. It didn't matter. You were equal. You looked the same in front of a judge. Is ideally, right? That's what it's supposed to be. But you have to understand the kings, the people, the people who want to rule by divine right, they're looking this way. They want society to be shaped this way, where that if this is the rule of law, right? I'm standing right here, the law. If I'm on the law, everyone is the same level in front of me. Everyone's the same level. No one's higher, no one's lower. Everyone's the same level in front of the law. In a democracy, the thing you want to manifest in democracy is human rights. And you use the rule of law to do that. You write the law to be as a close approximation to the truth as possible. And then you apply the law equally to everyone. That's what it means to have rule of law. It doesn't matter who you are. You are all equal before the law. However, slavers and aristocrats and elitists want you to believe that society don't want to shape society like this. They do not want this. They do not want this. They have a different way of thinking. They think this way, where the number one thing they believe in is power. Americans believe in truth, justice, and liberty. Truth, justice, and liberty. That's the deal with Americans. Truth, justice, and liberty. I pledge allegiance, truth, justice, and liberty. That's what Americans do. I pledge allegiance, truth, justice, and liberty. These guys are about power. They don't care about truth. They don't care about justice. They don't care about liberty. They may talk like it. They may adopt the clothing and the language of it, but they actually do not respect it at all because their number one thing is power. Power trumps everything. Any word that they say can be just wiped away with enough power. Any truth can be wiped away with enough power. When they worship power, that's the only thing they care about. Doo-doo-doo-doom. So what happens when you have a society that's worshiping power, that worships power above everything else? Not the rule of law, but power. What happens is your society becomes shaped like a pyramid, where the guy at the top is, and you have the law here. Oh, look, that guy is above the law. That guy with all the power, he is above the law. Therefore, he can do whatever he wants because the law won't stop him. He can do whatever he wants because the law won't stop him. So, if you recall the past from 2016 to 2020, Donald Trump did a whole bunch of bad things. And then it all he continues nonstop to do illegal things all the time. He is a traitor. He's trying to overthrow the country. And I think a lot of, I don't know, maybe this might be too heavy for you guys. I mean, are you aware of this kind of stuff? Chanti, am I getting in over your head with regards to like the coup going on? I hope not. Well, I don't know. Anyways, Donald Trump tried to overthrow the government, continues to try to overthrow the government. He wants to establish this shape of society in which he is above, with power, he's above the law, and he can do whatever he wants. And then by nature, by growing this, you have people, you have some people who are below the law so that the law will always be used to hurt them. It will never be used to protect them. And then you have even some people who are so low that you can't even see them. They're underground. They are so repressed. The law, there's no such thing as the law for them. They have no protection. They're utterly exploited. So all their energy, all their goodness, all their stuff is sucked up, into the top. So so what does that look like, right? I'm like, all right, okay. But before I go too far though, I'm like, well, wait a minute. How do I tell which group I'm in, which society I'm in? How can I tell if I'm in a democracy or if I'm in an oligarchy, in an aristocracy, in an fascism, rule of power? How do I know? How can I tell? Well, Do you see the application of law, the law, how it goes? Do you see Kyle Rittenhouse being a white guy, but not only being a white guy in acting in service to white supremacy? He's acting in service to white supremacy. And you're seeing him being treated really, really nicely by the judge, who is obviously a Trump supporter, and a Trump supporter is white supremacy. So this kid is being treated as if he's above the law. Well, wait a minute. Why were people protesting? Why were people protesting? Why were people even protesting that night? What happened? Remember, I think his name was Blake, Jacob Blake. He was the guy who got shot in the back by police for nothing. For nothing. They just shot him in the back for nothing. They could have killed him. He's paralyzed. He can't walk right now. Now he can't walk again. They could have killed him, and the police got off scot-free. So, but before the police got off scot-free, before that people were pissed that the police are shooting black men yet again for no reason, because that's what they've been doing since the beginning of the United States. Police, the state, because that's what they are, right? They're agents of the state, have been murdering black Americans since the beginning. Even before the United States existed. Before the United States existed, they were doing it. So, yeah, people are going to be, pissed off. So Kyle Rittenhouse acted as an agent of white supremacy. And when we put him on trial before the law is acting as if he's above it. That tells me the shape of society is more like this and not like this, where you would expect Kyle Rittenhouse to be treated like everybody else when he's not. Another way I can tell that we're more like this and not like this is by looking at where the money is. Where's all the money? People tell me the United States is the wealthiest nation on earth. They tell me that we're the richest country on earth. Really? Like, where's all the wealth? If that's the case, all right, let's look at where all this wealth is, right? USA is number one wealthiest country. Let's look where it is. So over here, this is the USA distribution of wealth in 2016, before the pandemic. You have to understand, after the pandemic, these guys got a bunch of money. The billionaires made a bunch of money. They have made a bunch of money from the pandemic. So this is taking all the wealth in the USA, and I'm cutting it up into 5 groups. I'm going to give 5 groups. Your bottom, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 5 groups. It's going to go like this. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. The people with, and all the wealth is spread about, right? And they spread it out between the groups. One block is 5% of the wealth. One wall is 2.5% of the wealth, and one stick is less than 2.5% of the wealth. So when we look, right, USA distribution of wealth in 2016, the bottom 20% have nothing. Monday, nothing. Tuesday, nothing. Wednesday, Thursday, nothing. Friday, nothing. Saturday, nothing. nothing, 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 nothing. All right. The next 20% of Americans. A stick. A stick. That is less than 2.5% of all this great wealth in the USA. Okay, the middle class. Now we're getting to like, middle class people like the Winslows. Who where the dad was a cop. Remember? So middle class right here. All right, we're gonna look at middle class. We're gonna go over here and go, whoa, boom, a wall. So what does that wall mean? Middle class. So the Winslows have that family, middle class people have 2.5% of all the wealth in the USA. All the wealth, all the great wealth. You have like 2.5%. Okay, middle class. That's the Winslows. All right, nice. Okay, then you go. Then you go like the rich people, right? What's the name of that? No, dude. They live in San Francisco. They were like pretty well off, right? So yeah, maybe not, because now San Francisco is like outrageous. But like, okay, well, hey, thanks for hanging out. Yeah, thanks. Thank you for chilling. I'll think about doing that Java thing, but like, I'm not gonna be playing Java. Like, I'll be playing on my Bedrock server. But okay, so oh yeah, I was supposed to tell you about my whole theory, dude. I was gonna tell you about my theory about avatars and stuff. I got all into it and I forgot into telling you this part because it was like I've already done this before, so it was like easy for me to do. But oh man, all right. Well, here, I'll tell it to myself because that's what I was gonna do anyways. All right. Oh, I wanted to go down there because it was quiet. Oh, I'll go over here. Still not quiet. All right. Ooh, this is nice. Okay. Okay. So back to the information warfare. We're in an information war. Information war. So what that means is that there's competing narratives going around. People have different stories going on. And the story they have is comprised of little bits of information they get from other people. So if you consider each bit of information they get to be a pixel, people are getting like certain pixels flashed at them, and then they try to reproduce that pixel to their friends. Like, but if their friends like have a different narrative, they're seeing other pixels, then they're repeating. Then like, I don't know, it's different. So let me be more specific. Like, I'm having like ooh, the clouds are higher. What? Or are they? Or are they? Oh, I can't see anything. Uh-oh. I'm lost. I got lost. Oh, there it is. Okay. Oh, I know where to go. Man, thing's loud. Can you hear it from all the way up here? Options. What is that? What is it? Oh, okay. Damn. Like, really, you can't hear them from up here. Okay, so supposedly there's like a portal there. They should be going through a portal and then falling through to their doom. That's what should be happening. Anyways, okay. So my mom, oh, dude, my mom. I don't want to talk about my mom. People are talking. Oh man, I don't even want to. No, I'm just gonna stop. Yeah, I gotta think about this one before I talk about it more. Looking forward to the new world. I was gonna make a new Bedrock world. Start a new season. Yeah, because I can't handle the frame rate. See, how long have I been going? Doesn't say. It does say. Come on, tell me. 42? Not very long at all. Well, I'm not building anything. I was just talking. No one wants to hear me talk. They want to see me build stuff. Well, I don't even think people want to see me build stuff. This is how it's supposed to work. Angry. I don't know what else to tell you. Um, pretty soon I'll be able to dig straight underground. To the underground. What? I thought I dug all this out. I did dig all this out. Like, this is like an old world. I haven't, yeah, real old world. There's a lot of stuff I haven't done here. Like this is still here? Oh, it's not so old. Oh, this still works. Oh, oh man, see, it's not like Bedrock. Bedrock, you can like a minecart will let you like ride right through them, but in Java, like things are solid. That's what I mean, right? That's so cool. I don't. To me, it just doesn't feel very smooth. I mean, like, well, here it does, but like before it doesn't. It didn't. I have no nice way of getting back up. I really don't. Why would I do that to my... Oh, here we go. Ugh. All right, well, I don't know what I'm doing anymore. Like, I don't want to play this anymore. Like, I was gonna talk about the idea I was working on, and then like I'm like, there's not really a future on this world. Well, I mean, there's a future on this world, but like, it's not here yet, so I don't want to like do anything. Also, this isn't the one I'm gonna be playing, cause like. It's Java. And it won't work if it won't work anymore if I switch it over to Bedrock. Yeah, I just want to make a new world. Isn't this neat how it just keeps falling down? Like, it just doesn't end. Like, I don't even need any other... I don't need to make other farms. Like... Why make a creeper-only farm? Old reliable. But the lag. The lag is unbearable. I can't handle it. All right, I gotta finish this. Right, I gotta keep talking about what I want to talk about, or what I was gonna talk about. There's a group of people that want us to go this way. I want to go this way. This is the American ideal. The problem is right now, all the wealth is concentrated at the very, very, very tippity top. Right, you keep going along this thing, right? Winslow's, you got your San Francisco family right here. Even your like well-to-do people are still only have like, what's that, 5? A stick is what? Less than 2. It's like 7%. Even your like really well-to-do only have 7%. It's the top that have 89% of the wealth, like 90% of the wealth. So your society looks like this. The bottom have nothing. The next bottom have nothing. The middle have nothing. The middle top got something, but all the wealth is at the top. All the wealth is at the top. So that means all the power is at the top. When all the power and all the wealth is at the top, you're going to get a society that's shaped like this. So what you want to do is to start to move away from this shape and more to a more equal distribution of wealth. You want the wealth to be spread out a little more evenly. Not like this, where it's all at the top and nothing at the bottom. Now you're spreading it out. Now it's spread out a lot. A lot more fair than before. When you had nothing, now you have 5%. Whereas you had less than 2.5%, now you have like 7%. Whereas the middle class had about 2.5%, now you have 15%. Like, everyone does better except for the very, very richest when you start to even things out. So, like, no one's, like, I don't know if there's a lot. Eventually, I want to get here. Eventually, I want to get to here, where wealth is so evenly distributed that there is no top or bottom. Okay. Now, the way you get there is like this. If you raise up liberty and justice, and it's observed by truth, when that's true, that creates a circuit. And then the machine goes. What that does is it takes wealth. Wealth tends to take money from the bottom and pump it to the top, right? That's what it always does. That's why it looks like this. Because all the wealth goes from the bottom and it goes to the top. And when it goes like that, you have a society that's shaped like this. So the idea is to short circuit this flow by putting a wealth tax and transaction tax and progressive marginal tax to stop all that money from going up into the giant pool of wealth they already have. And then you push it back down through social programs like Medicare for everyone, free education, and infrastructure. You push it down and you inject it with universal basic income through the post office, bank accounts. because it's like organic farming, right? The idea is like organic farming. You feed the soil, not the plants. You want to ensure that the people at the bottom have what they need to take care of themselves. Because when the people at the bottom are well fed, they will ensure that the base of your society is strong. And that you will just grow. You will grow much better. And you will start to shift the shape of society from this over to what our ideal is, which is this. This is our ideal, where everyone is equal before the law. I talk about the West because this is today is an important day, right? Today is Veterans Day in America or in the United States, and in Europe it is Armistice Day. Armistice Day. I'm gonna get more coffee. I gotta keep talking because I remember my purpose. Armistice Day is a day when it marks the end of World War I. World War I was like the war that wiped away the last vestiges of the old feudal system. Like feudalism. Seriously, feudalism. Like feudalism held on. Like you have to remember when Rome fell, well, Rome didn't fall, it declined, right? Bit by bit it receded back. And well, in 400 AD it left the West and went east. So all those people in Western Europe who were under Roman rule and had Roman roads and got Roman stuff because of the roads and trade, all that broke down. Everything, all that stuff broke down. So yeah, and the people who took over were like, well, I got my group of friends, and boom, I say this is mine. And they all fought each other. And yeah, and that was the way it was for like 1,000 years. That was Western Europe's Dark Age, right? The Middle Ages, the Dark Age, because they fell in after the Romans left. They had to basically like fend for themselves. And that's what happened. Like they broke into groups that fought each other. And their mode of production was feudalism. The serf, who was like the poor peasant, was tied to the land. They couldn't go anywhere, right? Because their livelihood depended upon the land. So then you had people who said, well, I'm the aristocracy. I'm going to like take some of what you make, serf, and in return, I'm going to protect you from all those other bad guys. Protect. I'm going to establish order, right? The order that is gone now that the Romans left. I don't know if the Romans even did establish order, but whatever. And so there was no one in Western Europe was learning. They weren't really doing much of anything. All the great thinking and stuff was done in the East with in Islam. It was Islam. It was the Muslim countries were doing all the great writing and insights that I don't really know about. But they were doing it, right? They were doing tons of stuff. Like they were like kicking butt because they weren't I don't know why they were kicking butt. So they're doing great. But in Western Europe, like, nope, things were all messed up until the development of industrialization. Well, the Renaissance, right? The Renaissance helped a lot. The Renaissance is, I think, what led to industrialization. But the Renaissance was like the resurgence of of art and culture and commerce. I mean, you have to remember, back in the day, people got rich selling spice. And you got to think, well, what? You mean the stuff I buy in the supermarket? That stuff, spices? Really? Really? Yeah. You know why? Because the food that you were eating was terrible. It was rotting. It was either rotting or like just like terrible, like the same stuff you eat all the time. Like it was terrible. Anything you could do to cover up the taste of what you're eating was great. So yeah, people paid a lot of money to cover up the because you had to eat, right? You have to eat, and you can't get like you couldn't get better food. You couldn't get it. Nothing you could do to get better food. Right? There's no supermarket you can go to get fresh meat or fresh vegetables. No, no. You had what you had, and you had to eat it. You had to eat it. So, and it tasted terrible. So what you did is you smothered it in spices to cover up the flavor, so you could eat and not like gag. And if you ate enough, you could be healthy enough to like be strong and work and like do more stuff than your neighbor who was like didn't eat as much, and so they were smaller and like not as strong, not as healthy. I don't know. Like it was bad, dude. You don't understand. Like it was so awful back in the day. Like it was terrible. Like that's the point I'm trying to get to. Like we've made huge advancements. Like you don't want to go back to aristocracy because it was bad, and like stuff was bad. You don't want to go back. There's no glorious goodness to go back to. It was shitty. It was terrible. It was terrible back then. You want to go forward, guys. You want to go forward. No backwards. Forward. You want to get away from that nonsense. People were eating, people were eating like rancid food covered with spices so they couldn't taste that it was rancid because they had no choice. They were so poor. Like, I guess if you look at it that way, yeah, USA is pretty rich. we can go to the supermarket and buy fresh food. But we want to get away from that nonsense. It was awful back then. And the way we got away from it was through using reason and thought. But those were the very things that the power didn't want to happen. Remember, they excommunicated Galileo. They're like, Galileo said, hey, church, I think the sun actually goes around the earth. I don't think the earth is the center of the universe. And the church is like, get out. You're fucking gone. You're out of here, Galileo. What's with your learning bullshit? Fuck you. Get out of here. Challenging the church. For real, dude. And he was excommunicated. And he had to stand out in the rain for like 3 months to beg for forgiveness from the Pope to get let back into the church. Just for saying the truth. Because that's the truth. The sun, the earth goes around the sun. It is true. The sun, the sun is the center of our solar system, and the earth goes around the sun. But back then, to the church, that was, you couldn't say that. Yeah, you don't want to go back. You don't want to go back there. Come on, guys. Like, I'm not saying Rome was perfect. Of course not, But the idea of order and the rule of law, that's pretty good. But it took a long time to figure that out. Magna Carta. I gotta look that up. I should know it, right? Like, I'm telling on myself. The Magna Carta Libertarum, commonly called the Magna Carta, is a royal charter of rights agreed to by King John of England at Rumeid, near Windsor, on 15th of June, 1215. First drafted by Archbishop of Canterbury, Stephen Langton, to make peace between the unpopular king and a group of rebel barons, it promised the protection of church rights, protection for the barons from illegal imprisonment, access to swift justice, and limitations on feudal payments to the crown, to be implemented through a council of 25 barons. Neither side stood behind their commitments, and the charter was annulled by the Pope Pope Innocent III, leading to the First Barons' War. But the Magna Carta was the first attempt, I guess, to limit the power of the divine right of kings, and it failed. They didn't hold to it. They tried to check the power of the kings in 1215. Okay, let me see the rest. After John's death, the regency government of his young son, Henry III, reissued the document in 1216, stripped of some of its more radical content, in an unsuccessful bid to build political support for their cause. At the end of the war in 1217, it formed part of the peace treaty agreed at Lambeth, where the document acquired the name Magna Carta, to distinguish it from the smaller Charter of the Forest. Ah! Ye slimes. Okay, and acquired the name Magna Carta to distinguish it from the smaller Charter of the Forest, which was issued at the same time. Short of funds, Henry reissued the charter again in 1225 in exchange for a grant of new taxes. For money. He's like, fine, I'll sell some of my rights for money. His son, Edward I, repeated the exercise in 1297, this time confirming it as part of England's statute law. The charter became part of English political life and was typically renewed by each monarch in turn, although as time went by and the fledgling Parliament of England passed new laws, it lost some of its practical significance. That's funny. So I guess that was the first attempt to limit the king, the divine right of king, under the rule of law. But only for the aristocracy. You see that? You see that? Even then, it was so. In a way, the Magna Carta. That's funny. They probably told me this, and I didn't notice it back in college. The Magna Carta is like what happened in USA is exactly what happened with the Magna Carta. It's like a repeat. That's hilarious. Because the aristocracy of the USA, the aristocracy of the colonies, like they never intended for commoners to have power. They just wanted their own power away from the King of England. That's funny. But they didn't have a church to fall back on. Like they did over here in 1215, so they had to use reason instead. And that's funny. That's what makes the Confederates so funny, It's because their whole deal is the refutation of reason. And reason is the whole reason why we're here to begin with. Like, I mean, yeah, other than, okay, yeah, right. Justification was also race theory. Because literally the country was literally built with slave labor, with slaves. Like literally built by extracting the life essence of Black Americans, Africans. And in the process that process transformed Africans into Black Americans. Man, oh my God. And the indentured European servants were transformed into white Americans. And pressed into the service of enforcing white supremacy on Black Americans in exchange for paltry privileges. That's funny. Oh, ooh, I fell down. Ah! Oh, I fell into the machine. How do I get out of the machine? Oh, dude, that's funny. See, Java, dude, I love it. You can duck under slabs. Then you should do this also with a Bedrock. Duck under slabs. For real, dude, duck under slabs. I love it. I love it. I love ducking under slabs. Makes it useful a lot. I love ducking under slabs. Okay, but so we have two groups here in the United States. We have the group that wants to go back to the aristocracy, using the fiction of whiteness. And we have the group that wants to carry out the full promise of the rule of law, whereby all people are equal before the law. But these two groups can't hang out. They cannot hang out. They're incompatible. They're incompatible. They're going in two different directions. This direction, right now the ruler is Trump, wants to go this way. This is Trump. And this way, this is Biden. Well, sort of, I guess. Biden, and this is the Americans over here. So you have your two directions to go in. You cannot go in with both. You have to choose. You have to choose which side you're on. Like, you either want this one or you want this one. You can't have both. Because this one here will transfer all the wealth from the bottom and put it to the top. And this one here will transition from here to eventually here. And the way it happens is like this. When you elevate truth or liberty and justice to the level of truth, and it's seen, truth sees that you've elevated liberty and justice, you create a machine to take the wealth that would normally get transferred out of the system, and you pump it back into our economy. Why does diabetes hurt people? Why does diabetes hurt people? Because the blood doesn't reach the extremities. It doesn't make it to the tips of your fingers or your toes. Think of blood like money. It's only good when it's moving. If the blood isn't moving and it doesn't reach the fingertips, then it's no good. Your fingertip's gonna die. You gotta pump that blood all the way to the fingertip. All the way. Why? Because that blood carries away the waste and delivers the nutrients to the cells that live there. So they can live. So you want to shove that money out to the extremely tips. You want to push it all the way out. Because if you don't, they die. Same thing here, right? If you let the rich concentrate all the wealth at the top, it doesn't flow. It leaves the system. Instead of getting pumped back down into the bottom and feeding the soil like it's supposed to, it's getting shoved out of the system, and it looks like this. And then when it happens like that, then you start getting edema. You get edema, and you get neuropathy and gangrene because the blood isn't reaching the fingertips anymore. That's what it looks like. You need to take money away from the rich, and you shove it back down to the bottom. You have to do it. Joe Manchin doesn't want to do it because he thinks, I don't know what he thinks. Joe Manchin's crazy. I don't understand Joe Manchin. But you need to stop that wealth from leaving the system, and you need to shove it back down to the bottom. And the bottom is the people in West Virginia. Look at the people in West Virginia. All right, you've got 280,000 people in West Virginia who are living in poverty, and you have zero billionaires. That means the money is not getting shoved back down to the bottom. It's leaving the system and being held at the top and concentrated like this. When that happens, you get diabetes and you die. What's happening to our democracy? It's dying because this dude these people are like not with the program. This is the program and they're not with it. All right, so I've been going for at least an hour. I have been going for at least an hour. I gotta make a Java server. That's pretty nice. Oop. Okay. Yeah, I can't wait for the update. It's gonna be sweet. Make a brand new, I want to make a Bedrock world. I tried switching over to Java before. Well, but Chanti seems a little more like with it, like on board than anyone else I've found. So that might be cool. But then I can't use my awesome RTX card. That's what I wanted to do. RTX card. Yeah, I don't want to go anywhere because I don't want to explore new chunks until the new update. Right? Oh. So it's not like we don't know what's going on, right? We totally know what's going on. We absolutely know what's going on. Like, look at Kyle Rittenhouse. I can't believe that judge is being so blatantly obvious in his bias. It's like ridiculous. It's absurd. Like, it needs to be a mistrial so you can redo it again somewhere else with like a competent judge who's not so blatantly biased. Like, or if he is, at least like not display it during the trial. My God, let the jury make a decision without like influencing them the entire time. My God. It's so obvious. Like, It's so obvious the bias in the judge. He's such a white supremacist, that judge. You can totally tell. Even if he himself is not aware of it. It's okay, guys. I'm gonna go eat some food. Peace out. We'll see what happens. All right. Done. Stop.